Hi, I'm Eddie Moody and I'm here with Joshua Riggs. We're at Bethany Church. We're talking about some tech tips. And Joshua, we've seen, and I have participated myself in some videos that were not quite the best. And lighting, there's some people look like angels. Some people look like they're in the dark somewhere. Right. It's important.
Lighting is important. Lighting is important because you need to be able to show what's happening on stage, both in person as well as online. So we're going to talk about some lighting options. This kind of big guy I have in my hand is a Source 4 PAR, and a PAR is kind of a standard language. They have different size PARs, so they have PAR 38, PAR 56, PAR 64. The bigger the number, the bigger the light is. And this is what's called an incandescent light, or it's really a bulb. And so this requires power. It pulls some power, and you also have to have a dimmer pack or a way to be able to turn them on and off. But these are great for preaching lights, to light the praise team or worship team, the choir, to give nice, clean, smooth, even look across the stage. You can have 3 or 4 of these can light a pretty big distance.
It reminds me of some of the lights folks have used for drama and productions.
Yeah, this is theatrical lighting, sort of. It has a mount where you can mount it onto a bar or a truss, and then you can adjust it. And it has different lenses as well, depending on how tight you want the beam to be, or if you want it to spread out wide. So there's lots of options. These are about between $200 and $250 a piece. Okay. So they're not just cheap, but we've had these for 10 years, and I've changed the bulb 2 or 3 times in them. But it's a great workhorse kind of light.
Live streaming, and if they do some sort of production as well.
Right. And just like I said, just to light the pastor, make sure the pastor is well lit. The thing with lighting with the stage and the audience is the stage should be brighter than the audience. And I'm not saying turn the lights down in the audience, but just make sure there's extra lights. So you can't just use the house light from the stage or from on the stage, because you're going to get shadows. You need to have some front light. It's also called white light, which would be one of these that will give you a nice clean look across the stage for the pastor or the worship team.
That's great. You got some other kind of interesting lights. These I'm not as acquainted with.
So these are called LED lights, and LED is kind of the new standard. You can even get the front white light in LED now. Okay. They're still a little expensive for this type, but this light right here, you can get these for about $100. Some less, depending on which brand you get. And these are called RGBA. So what that stands for is red, green, blue, amber. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's these little diodes in here, and each of the diodes is a specific color. And then, so you can turn on all the blues, or all the reds, or all the greens, or all the ambers. But you can also mix those 4 colors to basically get any color in the spectrum. And this does require something to control it. You can just turn it on and set it to a color, but probably you're going to want to be able to control it because you can daisy chain these lights together. LED lights, as you probably know, last for years and years. I mean, these are rated at around 20,000 hours. So if you use them for 4 hours a week, on a Sunday, these will last for 10 or 15 years. So it's a really good option.
And also helps you be a little bit more sophisticated too, if you want to.
Right. So the difference is this one is just a PAR, which we talked about, just a round light, which you can use for uplighting. You can also use it to light the stage, to give a nice color on the stage. And then this is what's called a bar, an LED bar, which is great for like the back wall, your back wall, to light the back wall. So our friends, my friend Kevin Justice at Unity Church, just this past year, they purchased some of these similar to this, and I think it was 8 or 10 of them they purchased and put along their back wall. and just added an extra texture, a really nice look to their in-person audience, but also their online audience. The online audience, it just is easy on the eyes if you can have a nice blue or a purple behind the pastor speaking. And this is not the kind of thing where you're strobing or anything like that. It just adds a really nice element texture to your
If
content.
they watch the online national services this past summer, they
Right.
can see
Right.
those in action.
Right.
So you can see how it helped you see the people singing better, and just gave it a good look.
Yeah, it really differentiates the background from the singers or the pastor. It helps the cameras to focus better. There's a lot of features to using lights like these. So these are around 150 to 250 depending on what kind of brand you get, what features you get. So not too expensive. And again, this light, I literally have had this light for 10 years.
Wow.
I got it 10 years ago, and
So they last.
yeah, they last.
They last.
They
Good investment. So we've talked about live streaming. We talked about different aspects of trying to improve what we're doing. This is a good addition and not that difficult really to do.
Right. Yeah, not that difficult. I mean, you do have to have the controller, and of course you have to have the cables that communicate from the controller to the light. But for between $600, depending on how big your stage is, $600 to $2,000, you can have some nice color to your stage and really improve the overall look.
That's great. Well, thank you, Joshua, and thank you for joining us today for Tech Tips. And we encourage you to pass this on to others. We believe if we keep on working together, it'll help us to enhance what we're doing, really to be honoring and glorifying the Lord with everything we do. Thank you for joining us today.